Hello everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. It's second one this week after our usual live chat on Tuesday. We thought we'd best do something about COVID because the whole world's going to lockdown again. I thought I'd better run through a few benefits for you. The problem I've got tonight is basically that there's not really a lot out there. I had everything all ready, and then tonight everything's changed. So there's lots of things that we were going to be doing that the government in their great wisdom have decided to change. So bear with me, because I have made a few notes, but I haven't memorised them because I'm not that sad. So I'm going to be reading the news. So I've got loads and loads of paper here to go through. But when I say there's not a lot of help out there, there is some help out there. It's just giving you a little bit of a guideline of what is available for you. Before we do kick off into that, I just want to say though that this situation we're in now, it's unprecedented and it's horrible, and it's affecting us all in all walks of life. And you come to work, you get it; you go home, you get it. The kids can't go to university, the kids can't go to school. There's all sorts of problems out there, and everybody's miserable. But what we're actually seeing is something that was going to happen anyway. I've been saying this for a while, and if you've been watching our Between the Spreadsheets podcast, you'll see that the overwhelming trend is for people to adapt to the situation, and that despite what grants are available, despite what financial support you can get, do bear this in mind that the world is changing, and it was changing without COVID, and is going to continue to do so. So I'd love everybody to turn around and say, right, you know what? This is a time for us to sit back and think and get our thoughts together and get our houses in order and start looking at ways of adapting to the current climate. And I think that is so important, more important than money you get. I do know, and I'm not saying this to make people that are not doing as well feel worse about themselves, but there are things we can do, and we do have clients, and we do have colleagues, and we do have people that have adapted, and money and business is coming in. I mean, there's one friend of mine. He's a personal trainer, and you would think, how the hell does a personal trainer adapt or benefit even from COVID? Well, it's very simple. He took his classes online, and yes, he can't be in the room with you, and you've got to get your own equipment, but he's there in front of the camera talking to you and making sure you do those exercises. And you know what? I thought he'd reduce his prices but be able to teach people in more classes. But he's kept the prices the same, and he's recruiting clients. He's got a client in Canada now, and he's looking at all over the world. So there are ways, and if you do want to talk about how you can adapt your business to be online, then obviously my team, we're here for you. We're always here for you. So I'm just gonna park and tell you to be more adaptive, and unfortunately things have got to change, and they've got to change just to make you competitive. I just want to go through a few little areas with you. Like, for instance, before we look at grants, look at loans. Look at these loans, because they are very, very good. I mean, you've got the bounce back loan at £50,000, and the reason why it's so good is because the interest rate's so good. You get the first 12 months for zero payment, and then you get the next 5 years at a very, very low interest rate. I think it's about 2%. It's very, very low. So if you do have existing loans, then why not sort of consolidate all those loans and use this one bounce back loan, even if you don't need it to run the business. You've got the next stage of loan, which is the coronavirus business interruption loan, or CBILS, and you've still got time to claim it. The final date is the end of November, so do go for it. I mean, from this one, the minimum is 50,000 you can borrow, and you can get up to £5 million on it. Again, APR is around 3%, so it's a lot cheaper than other loans. The other benefit is that there's no personal guarantee required, because the government will guarantee this. There are some stipulations. You've got to prove a certain amount of profits. I mean, on the bounce back loan, it's you can only claim 25% of your turnover, not profits, and this one is more of a decision based on a cash flow and what it is you want to do. But it's very, very good. So don't not consider these things. I know some people have taken these on, kept them in the bank, and they figure, well, if I don't have to dip into it, then I can just give it them back before I have to start paying interest. So lending. I'm not one to encourage loans, and please don't sort of take the loan just for the sake of it. But it's there. So now, a lot of on the first wave, there seemed to be a lot of help on furlough, which meant that company directors, people working for a company on a salary got a benefit, but the self-employed people. Now, I know a lot of people think, well, I am self-employed because I'm a director of a company, but the legal status is different. If you're a director, you're not self-employed even though you own the company. So you had an advantage there. But a lot of self-employed people, they're obviously not on payroll because they're self-employed. And I think a lot missed out. But so I was telling people at the time, well, incomes, there's not a lot you can claim for. Maybe you can get some of the grants from the council for business rates and that type of thing. But at the end of the day, maybe look at what benefits there are for you. And I know these universal credit, and I think some people have been surprised at the amount of money they've been able to get from universal credit, especially if they've got kids or people living with them that's shielding or not too good. It's worth making the application. So all you have to do is contact the Social Security people. Just go online and find them. They're very easy to find, and you can fill in applications online to see whether you'd actually be able to get it. So going online, just do it. Just have a look at it. It's not something we can help you with. I'm not that well up on how the benefit systems work, but certainly do go and have a look at it. I mean, if you're at high risk and you have an underlying condition, you might be able to get it. You might even get it if you're self-isolating because you've come in contact with people. But it is out there, so it's a shame. It's a shame not to go for it. Now, if you have been hit hard and you need money now, there is a possibility that you could get some advance payments while the credits do come through. But have a go. The other thing is, as well, when it comes to paying tax, if you've got self-assessment tax returns, you can put your payment off till January next year, January 21, so you don't have to pay it till then. But what you can also do, as long as your tax bill isn't more than £30,000, you can actually pay it off in monthly instalments now. So that's a big bonus. So you've not got a big bill to face next year. You can start paying it off over 12 months. And the only thing to note is that there is an interest charge. I think it's around 2%. I think it's 2.6%. So it's not a lot, but it's all about easing that cash flow and stopping you from worrying. I've got some clients that what they've done is been supplementing their income by getting part-time jobs. I know the amount of small business people that have gone out and they've got jobs with Uber Eats and Deliveroo and is it UPS and all the courier firms, Amazon, and it's not something obviously you want your career to go down that way, but if it supplements your income, it reminds me years ago with Margaret Thatcher. She made a very unpopular statement, but you can see the essence in it. She said to everybody, if you've got no work, get on your bike and cycle to somewhere where there is work. And that's it's a bit uncaring, that, and it didn't go down very well. And we live in a much more gentle society now than we did when we were in the 70s and 80s. But the principle is, go where the money is. Excuse me. I've been painting, and I think the paint's gone in my throat. I'll just have a little drink. Now, I've got some notes here because I had it all memorised for you, but things have changed. So I'm just going to mention the income support scheme, and this is a difficult one because it keeps changing, and it will probably keep changing. Now, my area of expertise isn't in the payroll department. We have a full payroll department here, and I spoke to one of the girls before, and who heads the payroll, and she said, "What are you talking about? It's all changed. It changed an hour ago." So I've gone online, looked at it, and she sent me a load of stuff as well. But basically, we're looking at it's sort of going to replace the furlough, which ends the end of the month. So we've got to make these claims for the new job support scheme. And the way it basically works is that depending on whether you're in tier 2 or tier 3, which means if you're in total lockdown, the government just pay a flat 67% instead of the 80% that we're paying under furlough. But if you're in tier 2, it looks like anybody wanting to work will be working, or they can work 20 hours. As long as they work 20 hours a week, they qualify for this particular scheme. It was 33 hours, it's been reduced to 20 hours. The way it works is that as the employer, you will pay them obviously for the 20 hours work, but you'll also pay an additional 5% of the unworked hours. Now, it was 33% of the unworked hours, so it's actually a lot fairer system, and the government will prop that up by donating it, well, giving the balance of the 67% of the unworked hours. Now, they say unworked rather than the total, but it ends up being that people will still get a reasonable amount, but the maximum that they will get is £1,875 a month. Now, to be on this scheme, I think they've got to have to be in employment where the last RTI submission went in, and I think it's around the 23rd of September. So I think most people are probably covered on that, because a lot of people missed out on the furlough because they simply weren't in employment by the deadline. So we've got that. We're also getting another benefit for self-employed workers, because it's 62% covered by the state, not 67%. So the employee will probably still lose about a third. And it is the 23rd of September that they've got to be on the payroll by. Now, the other areas that we've got to look at is the amount of monies that the grant for self-employed people will get. Now, it has improved, and it's gone from 20% of your average monthly profits to 40% of your average monthly profits, up to a maximum of £3,750 a month. So that's quite good, but you've got to prove these profits, and the government are basically looking for 3 years' worth of accounts. If you haven't got 3 years, then they'll take up to 1 year and sort of use that as a basis of estimation. So that they are really, really trying to be very, very fair about this. So you claim what you can. If you're not sure how much money you've made, just let me know, or let my company know, and we'll have a look at it. If we don't act for you, we can still have a look at your accounts and give you an idea of what you need to be paying, what you need to have earned, and what you're likely to get. There's a lot of businesses out there that are affecting this. I mean, I didn't know that there's actually 5 million self-employed workers in the UK, and it's something that it's going to be a major problem if people aren't looked after here, especially if they don't fall into any sort of job security scheme. Not everybody will be eligible, because if you've not been trading, if you've got no accounts, if you've not traded in the tax year 2019 to 20, you've got profits of more than 50,000 a year, then you're not going to be applicable. And if you've not, the point is, if you've not got any paperwork, if you've not kept any accounts, then you're going to have problems, and you'll probably not be eligible for this scheme. So it all depends. So just to summarise, because I'm stuttering a bit here because it is a bit complicated. If you're self-employed and you're earning less than £50,000 a year, and you were trading in the 1920 tax year, then you should be okay. You just need to make sure that you've got accounts, you've got paperwork, and you've got everything that you need to prove what your income is, because that's what it's all about. What I've been finding is that there are a lot of grants out there. There's a lot of ways that you can gain some sort of financial assistance. The problem is that it's all very dependent on where you are and what you do. So if you're there's grants from different companies, different councils, and it's all depending on where you fit. So if, for instance, you've you're a charity, or you're helping people that are in the music business, or some others, if you're helping to put people in financial services, or you're doing some sort of benefit to the community in any way, or your turnover is below a certain amount, or you live in a certain area, or you've been affected in a certain way, then these grants are there. Now, I've got on my screen here, I've got 80 pages of grants that I could offer to you. I mean, for instance, there are £20,000 and £30,000 available to charities, social enterprises, and some not-for-profit organisations that are supporting women. You've got one here that help with pets. You've got all sorts. You can get £1,000 here for people that are sustaining creative development, like 3D animation, stuff like that. So what I've got is, on each page, I've got 3 or 4 addresses and emails to contact, and there's literally 80 pages of this stuff. So there's hundreds and hundreds of things that you can apply for, which obviously I can't sit here all night and discuss with you as much as I love to. I mean, there's people of up to 20. There's money of up to £20,000 available for people that have come out of the armed forces into business. So what I'm going to do is, if you would like a copy of this document I put together, just contact me at stephen@accountsdirect.biz, and I'll simply email it to you, and you can decide whether there's anything there for you. I didn't realise until I was looking through it before that there is so much available for people. So do bear that in mind. If you've got any problems, I've deliberately not taken questions tonight because it's so confusing at the moment what is available. All I can say is that our payroll people will be dealing with what's left of furlough, and we'll be looking at the job support schemes, and we'll automatically do things for you like this. Incidentally, something that I do want you to know, if you're going for the self-employed grants, the government will more likely than not contact you if you're eligible for this. You just need to supply the information and your bank account. Now that means that you're going to be opening up to lots of scams. There's lots and lots of people that are going to try it on, but the HMRC won't contact you in a spammy way. You'll know it's them, and if you do get a link, because that's what you'll get a link to their site, so you'll see it's HMRC. But if you are unsure who you're dealing with, before you give out any bank details, you're welcome to contact me, and I'll have a look at it for you. I mean, do you know, the other day we got a phone call. I got a phone call telling me that I was under investigation by some Department of Inland Revenue, HMRC, sorry, I'd never heard of, and that if I didn't give my bank details straight away, I was going to be arrested. Now, I know to recognise these things, but HMRC will not contact you like that. No government agency will contact you like that. So if you get anything that scares you, or anything that doesn't sound right, or anything that looks a bit off, you know, it might just be a spam. But HMRC will contact you about the self-employed schemes and the furlough schemes. If we don't act, sorry, I call it furlough, but it's the extension of the furlough, then it's the next idea. If you've got any issues with that, do contact my payroll department. But if you're already a client, we'll automatically be claiming. All you have to do is tell us who is on the reduced hours and whether you've sort of stopped trading for the time being, and we'll get everything in place for you. So this is a very brief live chat, because it's one of those subjects that there's loads to talk about, but there's not that much actual factual. This is what you claim. You've got the job retention, you've got the supports. Oh, you do have an issue that people that have been on furlough are still employed with you by February. You get £1,000 for each person. That's there. So something to look forward to if you manage to keep going. Now, there is something that I was talking about before with somebody, and they said it'd be better if we're in tier 3 than tier 2, at least in tier 3 we can close, and everybody get the government. It's all the government's problem to pay everybody. But don't think like that. Do persevere. At the end of the day, you're going to need your business running. It's the source of all the joy and all the love and money in your life. So do look to make that business work. It's better to have a working business. Come through this crisis. Go knocking on doors. I know the pub game. I know restaurants are suffering, but do anything you can. Go doing takeaways. Get involved with Deliveroo. Get involved with all these people to keep things going out. And you guys that have got shops, now's the time to start talking to people or really pushing your online infrastructure to get things delivered. Even if you've got to put them in a basket in your bike and go cycling around the local neighbourhood making deliveries. I've got my support teams in place. Join one of our support networks where we'll have a coach in each of these places that can guide you through all this and either tell you how to set up your online infrastructure, or you can do a deal with them where they'll do it for you. So please, everybody, keep safe and just keep going, because there's not a lot more we can do. Now, don't forget to jump onto YouTube and subscribe to my account so that you can get notifications of any bulletins we do or any our live shows. And for a more fun time, I'll be on with Hayden Hewitt on Trigger Warning with Graham at 10 o'clock to further discuss this COVID situation and the grants and everything but with Hayden's flavour, which is less polite than mine. So do join us on Trigger Warning. Just look it up and you'll see the 10 o'clock information. And in the meantime, I'm sorry I'm not more precise about things. Do let me know if you want this grant list, because it is very comprehensive, and I didn't really want to print out 80 pages tonight, but it's there. And I'll see you as normal on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, ready for our live chat about how we can actually do more positive things, like create an infrastructure for delivering online, for trading online. So thank you very much for joining me tonight, and I'll see you at 7 o'clock next week. Thank you.